Hi everyone, and welcome to the Gemini Weekly Tarot Bite reading for the week of August 7th through the 13th. This is I Am Illuminated Tarot reading for Soul Illumination. So hi everyone and welcome. My name is Lauren. We're taking a quick look at the energetic read for the week ahead for the sign of Gemini. Now I'm going to be basing this off of the two themes that came up in the general collective reading, which was posted on Sunday evening, which was regeneration and the hermit. And we're going to dive deeper into both of those themes to see what they mean specifically for you, Gemini. So we have regeneration. Now, regeneration speaks specifically to second chances in areas of new growth in our life that are starting to emerge, that are really going to help us grow an aspect of our experience where maybe we were not able to successfully grow something in the past, or where this new growth is actually going to bring focus to an extra aspect of our life that is going to bring our life experience into balance. So like a shift from focusing on work to the home or vice versa. Now we also have the hermit, and the hermit is asking us this week to really focus on looking within to see what we uniquely bring to our life experience and boldly shining that out for not only ourselves to see, but for others to see as well. All right, so let's go ahead and I'm going to first pull some cards here to see what's coming in for regeneration. What is that area of new growth or the potential for a second chance? What does that look like for you, Gemini? What does Gemini need to know? Okay, so we have three cards that came out. We have the Hierophant, Death and Rebirth, and the Knight of Swords. Interesting. So the Hierophant can be our commitments. It can be what we choose to follow, believe in, adhere to. It can also be kind of our inner spiritual guru, where we can that can also represent, depending on the reading, a spiritual teacher. Someone who is in a position of leadership in that realm of things. Death and rebirth, that really speaks to, for me, what I'm feeling here is that for many of you, Gemini, there's a sense here of either the release of a long-held commitment and the need to share that. So this could be where you are, maybe there's been a massive change in your belief system. This could be like literally it's time to share the truth that you are no longer a devout religious follower. Or this could be where you are getting out there and sharing with others that you're no longer in a relationship. It could be where, hey, we're getting divorced, or we're breaking up. This could be where, for some of you, there has been just a death in your own belief system, in your own way of maybe even connecting spiritually to yourself. And there's a sense of being able to communicate from that new awareness, meaning that, maybe at one point in your life, you said you would never believe in astrology and tarot, and yet here you are, that past version of yourself has died away, and you are now in the you're in the esoteric mess, so to speak, and that's your whole life experience now, and it's time to come out and start to grow that aspect of your new perspective, of your new belief system. But again, this could also just be when the Hierophant does speak to what we choose to commit to as well. And this could be where some of you are like, you know what, I committed to being the person who was going to have the home in the suburbs and get married and have 2.5 kids. And you know what? That version of me is done. I'm the new single me going out, and I'm going to travel the world for the next 2 years. But there's a sense here that there is a quality of speaking to that, of sharing that with the Knight of Swords. So for some of you this week, the new growth is really going to, I think, be the most apparent for you, and where you're speaking to a commitment that is being released and transformed and be put onto something else. Like, hey, I am getting a divorce or I'm breaking up, but I'm making a new commitment to myself in this next cycle. That could be a good example of that. Or you could say, you know what? I was always committed to working in my career path, and my belief was that I had to work until I, dropped dead at 75 years old. And you know what? I don't see life that way anymore, because something major happened in the last cycle and my belief system has totally changed, and I am just gonna quit my job and live off of my savings until I figure the rest out. But it could literally be something like that. And this is saying that area of new growth is gonna become apparent as to where you're starting to speak from this new vision of yourself, this part of yourself that is releasing a commitment to the old, or to something you've long held a belief system around. All right, so the Hermit. This can also just be where some of you are finally moving on as well. The Six of Swords didn't come up. It's the Knight of Swords, which is more about communication. But actually, as I say that, oh, that's weird. There's the Six of Swords coming in. So there is a feeling of moving on. The Six of Swords is that card of transcending a difficult problem, moving on from kind of choppy waters to calmer waters, and finally just moving on. So there is that feeling here as well. Now, the Hermit, we have the Nine of Pentacles. So we're looking at where you're being asked to kind of shine out. The Nine of Pentacles speaks to physical or kind of financial independence, where you have gotten to a point where you are comfortable and you're able to really enjoy the fruits of your labor. And then we have the Star and the Chariot. I love this. These two cards together, very powerful, Gemini. This is getting back into the driver's seat of your life and moving towards that dream, or moving towards something that deeply resonates with you on a truly a soul level. And I think for many of you, the realization is that you have the ability to do this. You maybe have reached a certain level of comfort and stability in your life. It's allowing you to really see that, there's something here where this level of, I think, physical independence, or a level of comfort that you have in your physical experience, is allowing you to feel comfortable to finally get moving again towards that grand dream. Maybe it had been kind of sidetracked as you were trying to figure out again, this could represent, like, let's say you're getting a divorce and you're like, it's finally time for me to just say, like, that's over, the relationship is over, and this is like, it's time for me to get back on track towards what I know is more in alignment with me. It's time, or this could be, again, like the release of, a job or something along those lines, a career path where you're like, you know what, I have enough in the bank. I've got plenty of savings. It's time for me to just get back in the driver's seat of my life and start enjoying that again. Start enjoying the dream I had of traveling to, every country in the Western Hemisphere, something along those lines. Beautiful energy. It's an energy of moving on to better, bigger, brighter things, but there is a sense, Gemini, as well as also really releasing something, releasing a long-held commitment, releasing a long-held belief, and speaking to that, sharing that with others, and your light is shining you in the direction of your heart, of your soul, of what your soul wants you to move towards. Beautiful. Okay, so let's pull a final card here just to see kind of the larger overarching message for yourself. What does Gemini need to know? There we go. Okay, so we have Wasp Spirit. It says, sometimes life stings, with the number 64. It's actually one of my favorite numbers. But the 64 with the 6 and the 4 coming together in numerology, it goes down to 10 and further down to 1. So there's a sense for me with the number 64 of wholeness, of the number 6 representing love and the number 4 representing the foundations we can build, the lasting foundations we can build through love. And it comes together and it equals that 10, that whole number, further breaking down then to the new beginning. But with sometimes life stings, I feel that for some of you, this might have been kind of a long time coming, and that this change in your belief system or the change in your commitment to something in your life came through a time that did sting. This could be where finally that career path just got too much. And you're like, the last final thing was that person getting promoted over me, or maybe you came to a realization about your life because you had to battle an illness. There are all kinds of ways where we can come to this realization of a massive change in our perspective or a massive change in how and who and where we commit ourselves to. And there's a sense of generally those realizations come through something that hurts a little bit. But that hurt is what then brings us back into alignment with the wholeness of our experience, where we bring love into the foundations that we choose to build for ourselves. And I get the feeling very much so, Gemini, that this is your time in the next cycle to really build a new foundation in love. And that's very beautiful. And I'm sorry you had to go through what stung in the past, but that's the gift. That's the blessing of the last cycle. And it's what's allowing you to now open up to building in this next cycle. All right, I will leave it there. I hope you all have a wonderful week ahead. If you'd like to book a personal reading, you can click on the link in the description box below to visit my website. Otherwise, the full tarot scope for the month of August is up for every sign on my channel if you'd like to view yours. And I look forward to seeing you all next week in your next Tarot Bite reading. And if you'd like to be notified, you can subscribe to the channel so you see when those are posted. All right, bye, Gemini.